Hello and welcome to AMS2 Hot Lap Shootouts, and today we are shooting out the GT4s. So to kick things off, we have the BMW M4 GT4 and the Ginetta G55. The Ginetta has the lowest horsepower and torque of the bunch, but has the most setup options, so it'll be really interesting how it stacks up against its bigger brethren. The M4 is the second most powerful GT4, with only the Camaro coming above it, and as things stand in this particular race, the M4 seems to have its slight advantage. We came to Ibarra specifically for the GT4s because of that mix of technical handling as well as brute force power along those back straights. It does appear that the Ginetta has started to catch up through this more technical section, but it will be interesting when we got onto those back straights whether its less power will be a disadvantage or whether its aero package will be able to save it. If it was a soundtrack shootout, it would definitely be close between the Ginetta and the Camaro. The Ginetta definitely makes the better sound out of these two. I'm not a big fan of the M4 all round, whether it's its handling or its sound, but we've managed to get some decent laps out of it for this shootout. It does appear the BMW is stretching ever so slightly on the straights, but my suspicions are these fast sweeping bends will suit the aero package a little better on the Ginetta. This is going to be tight, and the Ginetta takes it by 0.2 of a second. And here we are with semi-final 2, and we have the Camaro against the McLaren. Now, I know what you're thinking, aren't there 5 cars in the GT4 category? And yes, and the Porsche Cayman will come out to play in a few videos' time. Now this is a very interesting mix between these two cars. We have a proper pure V8 muscle car in the Camaro against a highly tuned and very revvy sports car in the McLaren. Now, neither of these cars are particularly comfortable for me to drive. I don't drive these particular GT4s very often, but the McLaren definitely felt more at home in these twistier parts of the track. Now, one thing I noticed during the run with the Camaro is this Ibarra circuit really does put pressure on the tyres, and as the lap was wearing on, it was definitely getting quite tricky to handle, which, considering it was only a single hot lap, did surprise me a bit. Now, I'm fully expecting the Camaro to start rocketing towards the line once it gets into the straights, and I did expect it to lose away a little bit during the more technical section. But it seems that the margin of difference between the McLaren and the Camaro is quite significant, at least at the moment. All that being said, it does appear that the McLaren is most definitely able to stretch its legs. It's topping out at nearly 270 kilometers an hour and took an easy win by 4 seconds. Okay, now time for the finals with the McLaren 570S against the Ginetta G55. After that absolutely stonking win of the McLaren over the Camaro, I did go and check the elevation of Ibarra, and it is about 2,000 meters up. So it is possible that the turbocharged engines are going to have a better chance at this over the naturally aspirated ones. However, the Ginetta G55 has already taken 1 scalp. Coming round this first sector, and it seems that the McLaren has got a bit of an advantage. We're now getting into the more technical section where maybe the better aero and setup package of the G55 can come into its own. The McLaren was quite settled, although it did have some snap oversteer turning up here and there, whereas the Ginetta felt absolutely planted pretty much the entire way round. If I was going to race the GT4s, apart from the Porsche Cayman of course, I would be picking the G55 because it is very, very, very nice to drive. A little bit tricky to see who's where at the moment because we've got slightly different camera angles for this final run, but it appears that the McLaren is slightly ahead coming into this run. Now, the more power of the McLaren, and we know from the first race it was really going quickly on these home straights, I'm not sure the Ginetta is going to be able to keep up. It's an easy win for the McLaren by about 2 seconds over the Ginetta, and we will see the McLaren heading off against the Porsche Cayman in a few weeks' time.